Hello Libra, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect here. This is your reading for July 2020. I've gone back to doing it the way I usually do it because the weeklies were really just not as delivering the type message I wanted per week. It was just really giving an overall story, so I don't really think it was particularly useful or better than this kind of layout. So I've gone back to this. Libra, I'm reading for a female Libra here, and you are coming through in reverse as your own significator here. You're someone who's currently having a lot of self-doubt, a lot of worries, maybe a lot of nightmares, feeling a bit stuck in a situation. And I have asked what's leaving your life or in your past energy, and it is your counterpart, the King of Swords upright with the Hierophant. So the person I'm reading for is someone who is in the process or will be very soon of leaving a commitment, and that is throwing up a lot of worries. But what I really want to firstly pick up on is the main message of the month, which is a clockwork pumpkin, because this is quite similar to not only the best you can achieve in the month, it's also coming through in your subconscious with Penelope Dreamweaver. She's my inspiration fairy, and they seem to be tied together here. So here we go. One of those aha moments is about to happen when you are paid a visit by a pure spirit of inspiration who's delivering an incredible gift. You will be given an idea and vision and epiphany. Its source is the divine realm of heavenly ideas, and its time is now, and you are being chosen to bring it to life. It will work beautifully as long as you put steps in place one after the other, almost like clockwork. Despite the mechanical imagery, this is no mechanical idea, although it will no doubt be very inventive and it could cause concern. A brilliant solution to a mechanical problem. It is sparkling pure genius. Never forget that Thomas Edison dreamed the light bulb, so please don't doubt your intuitive self when it becomes the delivery system for this wonderful innovation that you are in charge of. And it's come up with sudden wealth. Now, it could just be there's a lot of ideas going to come through to you. It's not necessarily just your dream space, although Penelope is coming up in your subconscious, so it could very well be that. So try and tune into that. But it could just be a real money spinner. And I do think that is currently a lot of your fears are coming from that just now, Libra. So let's have a wee look at your energy first. The Queen of Swords in reverse with Epona's Wild Daughter upright. So you're currently out of your own energy. You might be feeling a bit poorly. I really am just getting this is all to do with the mental realm, which is very Libra, obviously. Epona's Wild Daughter, at least it's upright and not in reverse. It does create a lot of mental confusion. It says it can be having a lot of nightmares in your sleep, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go straight here to have a look at someone. Oh, can't speak today. If you are having nightmares, because here's Penelope with the Empress. So this is your subconscious. This is what literally drives you day to day. This is your autopilot. You may be you know, a mother. You may be thinking a lot about your mother. You may be wanting to become a mother, for example. But I'm really just seeing this as abundance. I mean, this energy in your subconscious is quite beautiful. So for you to be having nightmares means that you're not paying attention, because Penelope is really, really sweet. And she will bring you lots of lovely ideas and beautiful, creative images. But she can also get quite exasperated if you do not pay attention. So if you're ignoring her, she's going to get a little bit grumpy. So instead of sending you beautiful light, colour, sounds, inspiring ideas, she's going to start sending you nightmares. And I think this is where this is coming from, because you're either not acting on what's being sent to you, or you're at this minute you're in such a state of fear you can't elevate your conscious high enough to, you know, see anything positive. And this is what she does. She's going to start scaring you. Yeah, she might be sending you literal nightmares to get you to wake up. I mean, there is a method in her madness, so to speak, and it is to put the fear of God into you almost, that you need to pay attention, because she's trying really hard to get some good stuff through to you. And it will come not just in the sleep space, although this is particularly your subconscious this is coming through in. It can be any sort of daydreams you have, any sort of musings. You know, if you get a fantasy, just run with it, because there's something in there. It can literally come out of nowhere when you're washing the dishes or you're having a shower, but it will be like a boom. This aha moment is like, but you need to grab it there and then and get it on into print. Get it recorded. It doesn't need to make sense at the time. It will make sense maybe after the fact, but you need to start taking some action on the messages that are being sent through to you, and this is what is going to correct your energy. All right. And in your block position is the Two of Swords and the Spirit Dancer. So the Two of Swords is obviously struggling to make a decision here. Because I am seeing the Hierophant and the King of Swords on the way out here, you might be having some issues with custody matters. This basically depicts that. This is a warring mother and father over a child. So children are very much featuring in this reading. And you're not expressing yourself, or you don't feel you're able to have a conversation. The Spirit Dancer is in reverse. This can be creative blocks as well. This isn't basically not speaking. This is in your block position. Not being able to make a clear decision and then not actually speaking it out. I also do get, I mean, obviously there could be custody issues here. There could be concerns about getting your maintenance or alimony paid, because that is coming through in your external influences. But it is also a fear of actually being free. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I mean, you know that this is the road that things are going down. You may have even made your decision to leave someone. You may have already left someone. But there is a part of you that may not actually particularly enjoy the idea of being free, or doesn't feel that they might even be capable of managing this situation themselves. So let's look at the best you can achieve. This is literally energy that is available to you, should you choose to accept it. This is your mission, Libra. And it is the Sun with the Singer of Connection. Now, this can be networking. It can be you know, reuniting with old friends, maybe on the internet. This sometimes is my internet connection, or anyone on the internet who you find particularly inspiring or optimistic or uplifting, or who offers you some sort of clarity in a situation. Because this is Apollo, and he is all about renewed trust. He will make things clearer for you. He will allow you to see the patterns that have so far run in your life, and that will enable you to plan for the future. But he is also dispels any sort of nightmares, you know, any darkness. Apollo is just going to obliterate that. It may also be suggesting you might need to embody some more masculine energy with whatever it is you're currently going through. You may be, I actually do think you're coming across as someone who's very, very feminine with the Deer Spirit here. Bring a gentle touch. Now, the other energy that came out was the Wolf Spirit in reverse. So this could be the person you're dealing with or thinking of when you listen to this reading, or this could actually be your combined energy. And truth, turn knowledge into wisdom. I actually think it's your own. And it does sort of strike me that you need to sort of, you know, not just put your big girl pants on, but you might need to buy yourself a pair of big boy pants to balance this out. It's almost too soft for your current dilemma, is what I'm sort of saying. The wolf can also mean that there is knowledge available to you that, again, you're possibly not either paying attention to or using it properly. Can be a bit of a know-all energy with the Wolf Spirit in reverse. Someone who feels like they have nothing more to learn in a situation, or they have indeed got all the knowledge that they could possibly need, but they're not actually doing anything, you know, proactive with it. I'm going to read you the Deer Spirit, but I really do feel you're almost a little bit too soft. Okay. The time has come to be gentle and diplomatic when dealing with others. You might have found yourself in a situation where negotiations are necessary in order to reach your goal. Be mindful of the words you choose, but do not worry. Dear Spirit reminds you that you have the ability to be sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect for others. You will find that your capacity for calm and grounded communication is heightened at this time. Okay, so as I say, the energy that's leaving your life is the King of Swords with the Hierophant. So this is your counterpart. This is a contract of some sorts. I mean, it doesn't need to be a marriage. That's how I'm reading it. But, you know, it could be any masculine energy that you are have some sort of contract with. The King of Swords can often be a lawyer. He's someone who's usually pretty clear-minded. I do sort of feel that this is your counterpart. So he's come up with the Bodacious Bojack in reverse here. I do feel this is someone who has caused you a lot of issues. I mean, obviously you're probably getting a divorce, so that goes without saying. But this is them trying to put their good brownie boy suit on. This is them actually trying to be helpful, kind of after the fact, you know. But you know it's just a matter of time before we get back here. Yeah. Or we get back here. Okay, so yeah, it may be a case that you've maybe tried to break this off before and they've sort of come good for a while, you know. Yeah, they've turned into from the bad boy scout to the good brownie for, you know, a month. The base of the deck is also confirming lovers with the Three of Swords. So there's a separation here, and the Nine of Pentacles becoming single. So in your immediate future, we have a complete shutdown in communication. The Ace of Swords in reverse and Arvo Parrot both in reverse here. Arvo is blocked communication. His little throat chakra is all blocked up. It can also, with the Ace of Swords being in reverse, suggest that there's a lot of misunderstandings here. There are a lot of lies. And I think in the immediate future, Libra, you're just not going to communicate really at all, because this to you is a pile of nonsense. I think this is someone who's going to, like, you know, just create little dramas and be like really childlike and very irritating, and it just feels so immature given the current state of play that you're coming through as the Lady of the Harvest here. So this is trying to release this. It's liberating yourself from this, but you are very much in a grieving process, you know, regardless as to how your marriage has come apart. You know, there is still love possibly, or certainly there most definitely has been. So, you know, it's not clean cut where you can just, you know, shut the door and never think about this person again. There is sadness with it, and I think their behaviour is actually pretty shitty. At this point in the immediate future that's coming through is really kind of immature and playful and spoofy and all that, and it's just not at all appropriate. And then your external influences, this is also coming through as your partner. The Four of Pentacles with my glaucoma. He's also got Lace, the Moon's daughter, in reverse here, blimey. So this is someone who is probably withholding money. This glaucoma, if you're not familiar with my readings, usually comes through as my narcissist. With this combination, he knows what your fears are, so he knows exactly what buttons to press, and he's going to, you know, exacerbate your fears really. And I think a lot of your fear is coming through with regards to your own confidence to go alone, basically. He is with Lace here. Lace is my riddle solver, and she's in reverse. This is anxiety, this is self-doubt, this is also a bit of a tendency to accidents, because what's happening here is that there's so much going on really deep in your psyche that you're really kind of being warned to pay attention as you go through your day, because it can suggest that there could be a lot of little clumsy accidents. I'm getting tripping up quite a lot here, so you need to be careful, Libra, that while you've got a lot going on, you know, in your life in general, but certainly in your dream space as well, that you are switched on enough to get through each day, you know, intact and in good health. Because I almost sort of feel this is someone who is demanding superhuman perfection from you, and they've set the bar so high that you couldn't possibly achieve it. So then they belittle you and make you feel that you're not quite good enough, that maybe, you know, you're not going to manage on your own because they're not going to pay you. This is him withholding money here, literally for the children. This is also someone who could even be jealous of their own children because they don't want their children to surpass them. That's what Daedalus is about here. This is actually his nephew. And the line I got from this was from one of my favourites, a movie, Pretty in Pink, and it's where Blaine says to Steph, she thinks you're shit and deep down you know she's right. So as much as, you know, the Glancomer here can come across as really slick and capable, it is a complete facade. This is him, he's just a little boy in there. And literally their worst nightmare would be for you to not only leave them, but to be successful. So just bear that in mind while they're trying to press all your buttons and, you know, scare you that you're not going to manage alone. Tell you all sorts of, you know, unkind things about yourself, that they are just literally trembling inside themselves. But this is how they're projecting it out. Now, in terms of how you've been viewed by those closest to you, you're being viewed, Libra, as someone who's been avoidant and indecisive, someone who's avoiding the inevitable, not addressing their problems, maybe making excuses for not making decisions. But this is telling you it is time to make a decision. It is time to get really straight with your plans for the future. Yes, I can see that you are fearing that you make a mistake, which, you know, gives you that complete in and out energy all the time. But Indy is telling you here it is decision time. No more avoiding. And you gotta go, you know, just plow ahead. Come back to this. The best you can achieve is this, and hopefully you will get an idea that's going to sufficiently inspire you so that you know, you don't sort of backtrack when these plays come in your hopes. Now, the Page of Wands in reverse, the only thing I can think about is that you don't have any communication. I can't actually imagine why the Page of Wands, I mean, you're not hoping for bad news. So I can only imagine with having the Ace of Swords and Arvo Parrot in reverse in your immediate future, you're actually hoping that there won't be a lot of conversations here. But you're also hoping that the fairy godmother is going to come in and help you out. And she's coming in, but she's coming in via Penelope Dreamweaver in your sleep. But you've still got to come up with the solution yourself and put it into play. But you know, this is like hoping for just complete out of the blue good fortune, like a gift, a lump sum of money. It's not to say you won't have it, but it is in your hope position, Libra, to be clear. She is the fairy of helpful lessons, is Sari, and all she really wants for you is to be really open to love and accept the current situation. But yeah, I can see that you're kind of hoping almost for a bailout here. That might even allow you to move on, but yeah, it's kind of like confirmed in your fears. The fear is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The fear is that there's not going to be enough, that you're not going to get the money that you need to build your new life, that you're not going to get the idea, that you're not going to be able to get a job or create something that is going to give you a sufficient income. This is where the fear is. And this is the fear that your partner, or soon to be ex, or already ex, is going to be, you know, ramping up. It's also fear here in Loscuna of maybe even adventure and travel. And the Page of Wands can be about travel as well. So you know, you might have to, like, maybe you're moving quite a distance and that makes you a little bit nervous. Maybe you're moving out the neighbourhood that you're used to and you're a bit apprehensive about that, going to new places, and maybe you're having to reschool the children, all that sort of thing. So there's fear of lots of new beginnings here and everything being a little bit alien to you. Loscuna can also suggest there's a fear of self-evaluation. This is, you know, discovering yourself, but also getting deep into the shadow side of our nature, which we all have. There may be some avoidance there, and that's the Seven of Swords coming back to avoidance. And our shadow side absolutely has to be addressed, because if it's not, it will erupt at the most inopportune moments and create havoc in our lives because we're not addressing it or accepting it, acknowledging it. Yeah. And in your outcome, you have the King of Cups. And I thought, oh, I actually do think this is still the same person, but they're now coming through not as the King of Swords, but as the King of Cups. So they're coming through maybe emotionally, maybe more loving, more attentive, more affectionate, but we've actually got the Soul Shrinker in reverse here. This is someone who just does not want you to move on. There's no two ways about it. And they are going to, you know, pull out all the stops to prevent that happening. And this is going to come right back to you not being good enough to go alone. It says he curses you, you know, either to your face or behind your back. It doesn't really matter. He is putting malicious thoughts out there, but this is my sarcastic, belittling attitude, you know, energy. This is someone who just wants to score points off you and bring you down a peg or two, because if you elevate yourself and are able to move on from this relationship and do a bloody good job on it, this person will literally crumble. Yeah. What do they want from you? They want you to have a complete change of mind. They want you to do a complete 180 on the decision that you've already made. They don't want you to leave the darkness. They want you to stay plunged in it, all, you know, confused and unhealed and maybe even sick. And they want to create chaos and confusion in your life. There you go. They sound lovely. Can't imagine why you're moving on. Okay. Advice for Libra for July 2020. Please like, subscribe, share if you think it's appropriate. All my information is below if you would like a personal. Please advise Libra. There's a lot of good stuff in here, Libra, if you can overcome the fears. And I think blocking communication with this person, if that is at all possible, or at least reducing it, is a very good idea, because they're not actually feeding your mind with anything healthy at all. They're just, as I say, exacerbating your fears. Libra's advice, please, Spirit, for July. Be the light and honour your inner knowing. This is my White Witch and my Medicine Mother. Medicine Mother, and you are in reverse here, can always sort of suggest that you may be a little bit poorly. It doesn't need to be physical. You just might not be exactly where you want to be in your physical or mental health. It does sort of suggest that you know, obviously you have to get proper medical advice, but you may want to consider alternative methods. But in terms of the best you can achieve here with the Sun, this is the White Witch. This is Be the Light. This is raising your vibration, and that will only come if you get out of the fear, shame, anger, grief mode, and try and, you know, move up the scale a little bit. Let's have a look at the White Witch one bit and down. I haven't heard her in a long time. Be the light. Take the higher road and choose the light. Remove yourself from lower energy experiences. The White Witch card represents the maiden aspect of the triple goddess of paganism and modern Wicca. The maiden is a gentle, innocent and pure aspect of the goddess, a loving soul who wants nothing but the best for the whole earth. Here she is joined by a horned owl. I never know whether to say horned or horned. Let me know. Showing that she is willing to respect those with more wisdom and experience than she has, but she is also willing to trust what she feels to be right within. With this card, you are being reminded of the goodness within. No matter what is happening to you or around you, you have a choice. Choose not to be pulled into dramas, bickering, or energies that are just going to limit your joy. If you are surrounded by people who are hostile towards you or someone else, you are in a negative situation, perhaps in a workplace, you are being invited to be the light. You are an incredible person who can really bring light. So how can you change the energy? How can you redirect the conversation to love? And how can you protect yourself? How can you help the person that has been picked on, or are you the one who's guilty of causing a drama? You will know the answers, so know also that you're being encouraged to shine the light you were born to share. That is your reading, Libra, and have a super month. Look after yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.